Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have the union and festivity at the heart of the nations. Djibouti vibrate to the rhythms of Eid al-Fitr. More than 90 dead when makeshift boat sinks in Mozambique. Welcome to our newsroom. President Gele expresses his best wishes to his compatriot at the advent of Eid al-Fitr. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gele, as usual at the advent of Eid al-Fitr, expressed his best wishes for health, progress and success to all his compatriots. He expressed the hope of a successful celebrations in our country, a source of joy, cheerfulness, and individual and collective well-being, where, in accordance with the precept of holy religions, Eid is celebrated in communion, concord of hearts and minds, conducive to our desire to live together, to our national cohesion. The Harif State then took advantage of this wish to pay vibrant tribute to the living force of our nations, which works on a daily basis to provide our country with the essential conditions for its sovereignty and development. I cannot fail to cite our armed and security forces at the forefront of figures of merit committed, including at the cost of their lives, to the peace and well-being of our country, of our people. In essence, declared President Gele, my esteem also goes to our executives and workers who continually increase their ingenuity, creativity, and perseverance so that our country adapts to the demands of our increasingly rapid, constantly changing world marked by a sustained level of deadlines and competitiveness, said the head of state. In this wish to the nation, the President of the Republic was especially delighted by the exceptional resilience, a guarantee of foresight and competence that our country demonstrated to face repeated exogenous shocks. Djibouti achieves the feat of remaining impervious to the consequences of the international crisis, often upsetting the projections and macroeconomic balance of the state, including those with the most extensive provisions, declared President Gele, now combining our nation's definitive access to sustainable development and its capacity to further subscribe to greater control of spending and greater inventiveness of its human heritage. We are also aware that in this increasingly interdependent world, the achievement of our growth is partly linked to the state of stability and integrations of our region. He stressed this is why we continue to act constantly, both bilaterally and within the framework of our current studies as a current president of IGAD, in favor of understanding and complementarity of countries in the region, assured President Ismail Omar Gele. The head of state closed his wish to the nations by also expressing the hope of rapid deliverance for the brotherly Palestinian people, whose dignity and bravery are matched only by their courage to put up resistance, fierce to the bloody diktat of those who deny him his inalienable right to dispose of himself on the land of his ancestor. And the President Gele to reiterate his best wishes for Eid al-Fitr to all his compatriots and to extend the same wishes to all those who do us the honor of living among us. On the occasions of the blessed month of Ramadan, in participation of Eid al-Fitr, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gele, signed a decree which grants free remissions of 4-month sentence to 213 inmates, 111 inmates sentenced to prison terms of more than 4 months and who have served their sentences took advantage of this presidential pardon and were released today, Tuesday, April 9, 2024, from Gabot Civil Prison. 119 other prisoners sentenced to sentences of more than 4 months of incarceration will benefit from a 4-month sentence deduction this year. Please note that all foreign nationals in our irregular situations in our country and who benefit from this presidential clemency will be subjected to expulsions to their countries of origin. In fact, it is a measure of presidential indulgence which only concern prisoners convicted by final decisions and serving their sentences in a prison establishment in the Republic of Djibouti, according to the decree signed by the head of state. This measure does not concern detainees convicted of the offenses of illegal possessions of firearms, undermining state security, terrorism, corruption, drugs, human trafficking, human being, sexual assault and rape, drug trafficking, and finally possessions of or circulations of counterfeit bank notes, but also excluded from the benefit of the pardon people convicted within the context of legal recidivism and people convicted from act of embezzlement of public fund of offenses having jeopardized state funds. Note that this presidential pardon includes the people who have a notorious physical infirmity, people with the incurable illnesses and at advanced stage and the mentally ill. For the implementation of this latter category, a medical commission was consulted. Finally, let us record that the right of pardon is a sovereign power which belongs exclusively to the President of the Republic. As we said, in the Eid sprite of Eid al-Fitr reigns over the country. In the busy street of the capital, an atmosphere is electric. For several days, crowds have gathered in the city center, transforming these emblematic places into the real melting pot of commerce and conviviality. The past few days began with anticipation and with hundreds of people brought seen the styles of searches of perfect them of clothing for this impending celebration. And it must say that at the heart of this spectacle, the traders prove to be true virtuosos, using their know-how to seduce customers looking for a good deal between merchant and buyers. It is an incessant ballet of calculated gestures and words punctuated by the burst of contagious laughter and lively discussions. In a demonstrations of efficiency and foresight, the police took the initiative of closing several main arteries of the shopping district, thus ensuring, regulated with the close urban cacophony. The detail is their concerted met efforts and congestionist initiative by police demonstrated their unwavering commitment to the public safety, but also preserved orders and tranquility in the capitals, the main artery. They resonate in the street, testifying the major urban events. As in the rest of the Muslim country, during this period of Eid end of Ramadan, the inhabitants of Dakhil city are preparing for Eid al-Fitr, which is a major event for the Muslim community. Note that the festival Eid al-Fitr, commonly called Eid al-Fitr, is celebrated every 29 or 30 days following the advent of the month of Ramadan, depending on the year. The scene is part of the discourse in the run-up to Eid al-Fitr. It is a perpetual right between the seller and the customer, surrounded by their offspring at this time, which marks a frenzy of purchases in anticipation of Eid al-Fitr, which promises to the imminent eve of Eid al-Fitr. And arts act of worship, may these celebrations be filled with joy, peace, and blessing for you and your loved ones. The town of Obok, like the rest of the predominantly Muslim countries, is enthusiastically preparing for Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of the month of Ramadan. For the Muslim community, it is a major event marked by traditional ritual and joyful celebration. Instead, the Obok market are bustling with a buying frenzy. Sellers and customers, accompanied by their children, engage in lively exchanges in a friendly atmosphere. The streets are filled with people shopping, buying new clothes, gifts, and grocery. To guarantee security during this festivity, police elements under the command of the Lieutenant Colonel Kamil are mobilized. The ensure public orders is maintained, ensuring that celebrations take place safely in an atmosphere of serenity. The presence of the police reinforces the feeling of security among the residents of Obok, allowing them to fully enjoy the Eid al-Fitr festivity. It is a time of great excitement and joy in the city, where one feels the palpable excitement of the Muslim community as this important religious festival approaches. Djibouti announces the candidacy of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, for the presidency of the African Union Commission. The Republic of Djibouti officially announces the candidacy of its Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, for the post of President of the African Union Commission. Djibouti expressed its faith in the ability of Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, a man of experience and seasoned diplomat, knowing the mysteries of the continental organization, to serve and breathe new life into the Pan-African organization. With more than 2 decades of experience as a Minister of Foreign Affairs of his country, a haven of peace, and which is distinguished by the constant search for conflict resolution through dialogue and negotiations. Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf has all the assets to meet the expectations and interests of the continent. He speaks French, English, Arabic fluently. The national representation hosted this Tuesday, April 9, 2024, under the aegis of the President of the National Assembly, His Excellency Dileita Mohamed Dileita, a day of information and awareness as part of the preparations for the third general population census and housing. The opening of the workshop was marked by an intervention by His Excellency Dileita Mohamed Dileita, who, in addition to retracing the origins of this initiative, highlighted the ambitious objectives pursued. The workshop took place in the presence of Dr. Ibrahim Abdi Hadi, Director General of INSTAD, his collaborator and statistic experts. This workshop marks the start of a broader awareness campaign, which will also involve the participations of civil society, media, and other key stakeholders. The ultimate objective is to mobilize the entire population of Djibouti to fully participate in the census, thereby ensuring accurate and representative data that will serve as a solid basis for the development of the policies focused on the real needs of the population. In his speech, the Director General of INSTAD, Mr. Hadi, while thanking the Speaker of the National Assembly and parliamentarians for their support, insisted on the need for general mobilization, including all political and civil actors, to ensure the success of these censuses. The in-depth discussions and constructive exchanges made it possible to identify concrete recommendations to refine the census mechanism. The resolutely committed parliamentarians affirmed their determination to play a key role in the raising public awareness and ensuring the transparency and integrity of the census process. For his part, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Dileita Mohamed Dileita, underlined the central role of the general census of the population, presenting it not only as a data collection operation, but above all as an essential strategic vector for the enhanced understanding of Djiboutian society, development of precise public policy. The general census of the population is not a simple statistical operation. It is a fundamental process which will make it possible to collect essential data for a better understanding of our society and the establishment of effective policy responding to the real needs of our population, he declared the President of the National Assembly, Dileita Mohamed Dileita. Tragedy at sea of Korangar, sinking of an illegal migrants boat on April 8, 2024. A maritime tragedy struck of the coast of Khor Angar, as a team from the Maritime Coastal Surveillance Post responded to a distress call from the fishermen reporting the sinking of a boat carrying illegal migrants between Godoria and Rasbir. The boat, which carried 66 migrants of Ethiopian origin, had undertaken the journey from Yemen with the migrants who had made the decision to return to their countries of origin. This tragedy unfortunately cost us the lives of 33 migrants, including 29 men, 3 women, and 1 2-year-old baby. And 11 migrants are still missing, while 22 miraculously survived this ordeal. Teams from the Coast Guard Search and Rescue Department were quickly dispatched to the scene of the tragedy to participate in rescue operation at sea, recover the bodies of the shipwrecked and evacuated the survivors. The International Organizations for Migration took charge of the rescue migrants in order to provide them with the crucial humanitarian and psychological assistance in these difficult times. The search to find the missing people is still ongoing and is being carried out by teams of divers from the Search Rescue Department of the Djiboutian Coast Guard. A careful investigation into the circumstances of this shipwreck was entrusted to the Research, Investigation and Judicial Affairs Brigade at the Djiboutian Coast Guard. At the Al-Hiba CDC award ceremony for the winners of the competition as part of the activity dedicated to the holy month of Ramadan on the evening of April 8, 2024, Al-Hiba CDC organized an award ceremony which marked the end of the activities of the blessed month of Ramadan. The event was marked by the presence of Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, the Minister of Youth and Culture, who paid tribute to the commitment and talents of young people from the city of Al-Hiba. Also present were the president of the commune, the director of the CDC, Mr. Ali, and the president of the commune of Bulaus, the vice president of local elected officials, and officials from the Ministry of Youth and Culture. The evening began with a spiritual song, Khasaid, highlighting the artistic talent of young people from the Al-Hiba CDC who participated in the national Khasaid competitions organized by the ministry. After the performance of these young artists, the president of the commune of Bulaus, the vice president, Mr. Ali Addawa, the elders of the neighborhood Al-Hiba immediately welcomed His Excellency, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo, stressing that his presence shows the government's commitment to the promotions of youth and on a triple cultural, sporting, and spiritual level. The rewards were then presented to the young people who participate in the various activities such as the football tournament and the Holy Quran competition during the blessed month of Ramadan by the minister and officials present on site. The ceremony concluded with the family traditional photo. In her speech on the occasion, the Minister of Youth and Culture highlighted the importance of these activities during the month of Ramadan with the aim of offering young people in the capital and the regions of the interior the opportunity to flourish, promote talent, potential, and performance. The Minister warmly congratulated the young winner for their hard work and their determinations to excel in their respective discipline. Finally, the Minister of Youth and Culture concluded her speech encouraging young people, urging them to continue to believe in their dreams of surpassing themselves or even pushing the limit of their ambitions. Under the aegis of the Ministry of Youth and Culture, Arta Community Development Center, in collaboration with the Arta Prefecture, successfully organized the Ramadan Tournament, a major sporting event bringing together young people and community. This Sunday, April 7, 2024, marked the climax of this event with the holding of the grand final between the team of Porto Novo and Hajidere. In thrilling matches, the Hajidere team shone winning with a final score of 2-0. The final was graced by the presence of the regional authorities, notably the Deputy Prefect of the region, Mr. Mohamed Fouzi Ahmed, as well as the Regional Deputy Director of the Ministry of Youth and Culture, Mr. Saïd Madeye, and other local dignitaries. The atmosphere was electric, filled with enthusiasm and passion for the sport. This tournament represents not only a sporting competition, but also a moment of gathering and celebrations of youth and local culture. It embodies the values of solidarity, inclusion, and fair play, strengthening bonds within the community. Congratulations to the Hajidere team for their deserved victory. And a big thank you to all the participants, volunteers, and organizers who contributed to the success of this memorable event. Locality of As'ila celebrated the end of its Ramadan tournament with a style and marking the end of a month of intense competition and conviviality. The final as well as the award ceremony were honored by the distinguished presence of high regional authorities, including the prefect of the Dakhel region, Hassan Abdi Roble, the president of the regional council, Mahad Hussein Ahmed Drogba. Alongside these eminent personalities were the sub-prefect of As'ila, the vice president of the regional council, the deputy director of the Ministry of Youth and Culture, as well as other distinguished guests, as all gathered with the fervent populations of the sub-prefecture of As'ila, brilliantly organized by the As'ila CDC in collaboration with the As'ila Youth Association. The tournament was a real catalyst for solidarity and fraternity during the holy month of Ramadan. The final took place under the cloudy skies, but the electric and festive atmospheres lift up the file, testifying to the commitment and patience of all the participants and spectators present. We expressed our deep gratitude to everyone who contributed to the success of this event, from the dedicated organizer to the enthusiastic participant to the spectator, fueled by the spirit of brotherhood. The Ramadan tournament in As'ila truly embodied the values of unity, respect, and inclusion. The Obok region had the honor of successfully closing the Ramadan tournament, a major event organized by the Obok CDC and the Fantahiru Youth Association. Was the apotheosis of these emotion-rich competitions under the high authority of the prefect of Obok region, Mr. Musa Aden Migane, and in the presence of the Vice President of the Regional Council, Ahmed Ali Sheikh, as well as the head of the decentralized services. The final kicked off. This event was marked by an atmosphere of friendly competitions and fair play, reflecting the sporting spirit that drives young people. After intense and exciting matches, the AMK and Hugef team distinguished themselves by winning the finalists, demonstrating their talents and determinations on the field. The award ceremony, chaired by the prefect of Obok region, was an opportunity to reward the team for their commitment and the performance through the tournament. Trophies and honorary distinction were awarded to winners and participants, testifying to the sporting excellence and team spirit that characterized this event. The Obok Ramadan tournament will be remembered as a celebration of the passion for recreational sport, camaraderie, and unity among the youth. For the international scene, a makeshift boat sank off the northern coast of Mozambique this Sunday, killing more than 90 people. According to the local media, the boat, which was sailing between Lunga and the island of Mozambique, was overloaded while some passengers were going to a fair. Many others were trying to escape a cholera epidemic which would have affected the regions in recent days. I lost the children of my brothers, of my second mother's mother-in-law, because of the sinking of the ferry there in Kisanga, which left Lunga to come here because of cholera. My sister has lost her life. Yes, she was with her granddaughter. There were three family members on the boat, and two lost their lives. The initial death tolls of 91 rose to 96 after the recovery of three more bodies late Sunday and two more on Mondays. The 113 passengers on the ferry 11 have already been hospitalized. As a result, we see a shipwreck which resulted in 91 deaths reported yesterday, and around 11 p.m. local times we found three more bodies, making a total of 94. In this mornings we found two more bodies. Authorities have denied any cholera outbreak, calling the rumors misinformation in January. However, fake news led the murders of three community leaders in Cabo Delgado. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.